Everybody, can I actually have your attention, please? Thank you. Hello, I'm going to do Dr. Phil and walk around the room. Okay, thank you. The DTC has asked me to say a few words. I'm Christine Palm, and I'm running for state representative. And I want to do the good news, bad news. The bad news is that Joe Courtney can't be here because his mother-in-law died this morning. And he asked me to give everybody his love and his regrets. He really, really wanted to be here, and he would have been here, but clearly that was a priority, and I know we all understand. The other semi-bad news is Norm Needleman can't come, but for a happy reason. It's his wife's 60th birthday, and he's taking a much-needed night off. And I just want to give a quick report on his behalf, since he can't be here. Many of you who worked with Norm a couple of years ago know how that vote turned out. I want you to know that it's a very different election this time. People are extremely optimistic about Norm's chances. He's having a very different kind of experience on the doors. And so those of you who could be in a position to take his signs, please do so, and to volunteer for his campaign, because we still need more volunteers. But things from the Norm camp are looking also really good. For those of you who don't know me, I live right around the corner down the street on East Liberty Street with my wonderful husband, who's standing right there, who designed all those beautiful yellow signs that you see. And we moved, yes, thank you. Even if I don't win, I will have the prettiest lawn signs of anybody. We moved to Chester 7 years ago for probably the same reasons you all live in this area, drawn by the natural beauty and the sense of community and the respect for the arts. The excellent schools. Our youngest son went through Valley Regional. And James and I thought we were going to retire here. And then the entire world seems to shift on its axis. And so I chose to take my 10 years of experience in government. I worked at the Capitol for 10 years. And put it into the kind of action that I think all of you do every day as well. But I'm just doing it as an elected person, I hope. I was a policy analyst and a communications director for the state treasury, so I worked with Denise Napier on the unfunded pension mandate. And when everybody talks now about the liability of the pensions, she was warning that people and ringing that bell a long time ago, and nobody listened, and now we're in a pickle. I then went over to the legislative branch, and I worked as a research analyst for the Commission on Women, Children, and Seniors, studying bills that affect older adults, children, and women, and advising the sitting legislators on the effects of their vote, both intended and unintended. So I was kind of a number cruncher, and I helped write bills. When I qualified for my retirement from the state, James and I talked this over, and I decided to make the leap to run for office because the arc of everything I've done in my life has led me to this point. And most recently, those 10 years in government service. But before that, I was a high school teacher for 10 years in Hartford and a journalist for 10 years. And I specialized in nonprofits, the Harry Beecher Stowe House, the Mark Twain House. And Luke Bronin has this amazing way of sneaking in when I am speaking. What is the deal? Hi, Luke. I'm having a deja vu. So I don't want to keep us from socializing, but I want to tell you a couple of really exciting things. Yesterday, Chris Murphy came and launched a canvassing day with me and Norm, and we had almost 50 volunteers, which is unheard of. We do have the largest number, and many of them are in the room right now, of wonderful volunteers. I see Claire Walsh, who is organizing letters to the editor. Peg Meehan is doing absentee ballots. We have an amazing number of people pitching in, drawing from their own expertise. And I think Chris Murphy was genuinely blown away, and the message that he left with us, which I want to share with you, is we are all just astonished at how negative our government has become, how fragile our democracy feels at the moment, how appalled we were by the Kavanaugh hearings. the deportations, the stripping out of the EPA, and on and on and on. But the good news is that the 10th Amendment gives General Assemblies in the state houses enormous power. So please don't despair. Please take all of that frustration and fear and anger that we all feel about what's going on and turn it into action. And by that I mean door knocking, which is still the best way to get votes, oddly enough. Phone banking, if you don't like to shake people's hands and look them in the eye, you can call on the phone. You can write postcards. There are so many ways to contribute, calling upon your expertise and your investment in the future that we all want for our kids and grandkids. So whether it's me or Norm or Joe Courtney or any of the myriad wonderful candidates we have along the lower Connecticut River Valley, we all need your help. We honestly can't, Janine Lewis, I need to mention Janine too is here. We can't do it without you. So grab a friend, grab a child or spouse, however reluctant, drag them kicking and screaming, because this is the time in our lives when we need to turn the tide. And as Democrats, please, 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 let's not be complacent. Let's not think we have this made in the shade. I believe we will win. I believe in the blue wave, but we still have to help it. We have to push it. We have to nurture it every single day. And we have something like 39 days left, or I think tomorrow starts the 36th day. So we're in this countdown to ground zero, and I hope we'll all be amazed at the end, but it won't happen on its own. I want to point out the woman with the camera in front of me is Kate Sullivan, known as Sully. She's my wonderful staff person. She's going to be badgering all of you. I'm just giving you a warning. And thank you all for being here, and thank you to the DTCs for bringing us together. This is a time when the traditional democratic machinery, the people who've been in the trenches for years, raising money, putting out lawn signs, putting on events like this, we're partnering with the so-called progressive groups, the grassroots groups that are coming, kind of popping out of nowhere, and there's a really wonderful synergy when those two arms of the democratic and progressive movements work together, and it's really happening. So thank you for being here. All of you who have been working with me, I appreciate you more than I can say, and those of you who haven't done anything yet, what are you waiting for? Thank you.
Where do you want to